Hi guys, Review-LemmyKoopa13 here, and today I'm gonna try something new. Thanks to inspirations from Ant Dude, Categoras, etc. I'm deciding to review games, and I didn't know where else to start. Since I was gonna review Shantae Half Genie Hero, but I'm not completely done with that, so I felt like it's not really fair to review it yet. But since I've already basically completed Yoshi's Woolly World, even though not on tape yet, I might as well review this Nintendo classic. It's a pretty underrated gem in the series. Besides, I was never really that big of a fan of the Yoshi series, and even I think so far at least that it's better than any other Yoshi game I've ever played. And also that doesn't mean that it's better than the Yoshi Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, because I've never actually played that game, mainly because I don't have a Super Nintendo. And yeah, so we're just gonna review this game, try something new. Hopefully you guys enjoy. So the adventure. Let's talk about the plot. So the adventure starts in Craft Island with a peaceful Yoshi clan, but then all of a sudden Kamek got to stick his foot in it and basically ruin everything. So basically what he did was he stole all of the yarn pieces of the Yoshis. He disembodied the Yoshis and scattered their yarn pieces all over the world. So basically you, as the Yoshi, depending on which mode you play, the light blue and red Yoshi, pink and red Yoshi, or green and red Yoshi, we'll go on an adventure to save the world by saving their friends and by catching the scattered yarn pieces. So yeah, a pretty simplistic plot, like Nintendo fashion usually does. Though I'm okay with it. Honestly, I don't mind if the plot's pretty simplistic, because I've always appreciated that it's not too confusing, and I mean it's easy to follow along with. I mean, does a game with these cute little yarn Yoshis really need that complex of a plot? So what really is to talk about here is the gameplay. Take it away, Grace the Toad.
The gameplay is good. And yeah.
Okay, so basically it's like the other Yoshi games, except this time you get different colored yarn whenever you whenever you swallow. Gosh darn it! I'm so used to talking about Kirby. When you swallow an enemy, and some enemies you can't swallow, for example. Some enemies, they give you big yarn pieces. You get these little things where you can collect yarn. You can hit, and with those yarn, you can hit the clouds. Kind of like regular Yoshi gameplay, except there's different colors of yarn. Unlike the other games, where basically every egg was green. I'm pretty sure, at least. You can tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, by the way. So yeah, it appeals with its graphical style. On the other hand, is very nice. It gives the idea of a child playing with a bunch of yarn his grandma knitted or something, and it makes the game super adorable. The enemies are adorable. The animations of the Yoshis and stuff are adorable. Since Yoshis are already adorable, it makes this game even more adorable. I mean, I'm saying that word too much with this game. So far, games like Crafted World doesn't really meet the charm of Yoshi's Woolly World, because, even though most of the game is, made out of arts and crafts, it's a really interesting world, and it makes a good picture of what something would look like in real life, with a different touch into the world. You'll partake in many puzzles, such as jumping on, things, climbing ropes, jumping on the trampolines. Why can't I speak today? And hitting switches. You can even use these rolling chomp rocks as these pressure these things to push the switches. It's basically what I'm trying to say here is the game is very varied with its gameplay. It has a lot of different puzzles you can do, and it never keeps you bored. Sadly, this is kind of like every other platformer with the level select, except unlike Mario, and a lot like Mario 3D World, you can actually what you can actually do is you can actually roam around the world, roam around the place, and in case you don't know, Spyro Reignited Trilogy is my favorite game. One reason is because I love collecting stuff and platforming. So, if a game can master both platforming and collecting stuff, that grabs my attention. And not only collecting stuff, but the purpose of collecting stuff. Whenever I collect a yarn piece in this game, I love it because I get to unlock a new skin. Even though it's just a skin, still it's really cool because it gives really unique designs out of just like red Yoshi, purple Yoshi, yellow Yoshi, pea Yoshi, poop color Yoshi. I'm sorry for that really cringeworthy joke. Anyway, there's a lot to do in this game. And even with the side collectible with the flowers, they're still useful to collect because you get to get a secret level, and I love me some secrets. Grace, what do you think about the collectibles?
I don't have any.
What? Well, you helped me get some of the Yoshis.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like...
No collectibles.
I like them.
There's also other surfaces in the game, such as sponge, and you can even use different power-ups that you can also use before going into levels. Also, Poochie is motherfucking adorable. I love him so much. Sorry that my animation isn't really consistent. I could go off on a tangent of how much I love Poochie, and especially those little animations that was like advertised for Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World. I also like how there was like a touch with the Poochie pups. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. I like the idea of being able to use a little power-up for before getting into the level. It actually makes getting the beads useful. Sometimes it just gives you an extra life, for example. Now here's the part where a lot of people have a gripe with this game. The fact that you can't really get a game over. I'm gonna be honest. I actually like it this way. Not because I'm just a pleb and I prefer easy games and I can't handle anything hard. Unless it's Ultimate Custom Night. I mean, come on. I consider being 30-20 mode good for me anyway. So you basically can't die, really. Instead, you'll just be taken back. It doesn't mean it can't be annoying, though. And besides, usually when you die, you just get taken back. And I'm fine with it. Something I'm not fine with, though, is freaking mellow mode. It's just stupid. Like, all it does is make you hover in the air, and it can help sometimes, but it's really just a way of cheating. Just like Super Mario 3D Land and Super Mario 3D World's Tanuki Leaf. I used to use that thing, but I still consider it cheating. I mean, if I don't give a frick about the level anymore, I'm definitely using it because I don't just give a flying frick anymore. Besides, some of the power-ups are really useful, such as jumping on the air, jumping into pits, being immune to fire and lava. Especially I like Poochie. So yeah, and especially the watermelons. I love watermelon! Now I might as well talk about amiibo compatibility. Yeah. Pretty useless toys, waste your money. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I barely use these. But they're finally useful for Yoshi's Woolly World. And don't forget Mario Maker. Those are like the only two games it's useful for. Sadly, obviously some of the skins don't really connect with Yoshi like a Mario Yoshi. Oh dear God, what the frick is that? The skins are really good, you know? Sometimes they look like this, and sometimes they look like this! Have anything to say, Grace the Toad?
That's a cool skin.
The frick is wrong with you? I'm just kidding. Another notable feature are the bosses and how they're introduced. It's just like Yoshi's Island with making them bigger with his magic. Gosh darn it! She's always play out to be. So yeah, the bosses are like really unique and really put your skills to the test, and that goes for the enemies too. Not only do they sort of like are similar to their counterpart, but it's like woolly versions of the past ones. But not only woolly, but there's things like Frame Chomp, Frame Boo, like some weird pokey plant thing that doesn't quite look right. And sometimes the bosses can be just weird. Ugh. Back to Poochie. You know, I'm just gonna talk about Poochie for a few seconds, or a minute, or years. Just look at him! Just look at him! Oh, he's so adorable. And guess what? He can lick you even. He's useful. He's not only adorable, but he's useful for frick's sake. He can walk under like really thin platforms. He can walk over spikes. And you say Yoshis don't ride anything. You were wrong. Another cool feature is the the little drawings that people can make. You know why I'm showing a black screen? Because Miiverse has been disconnected for like a year now. Over a year. Dun, 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 dun. All around me are familiar faces. Well, even though there's not much bad about this game, some levels can be very tedious, especially when you're playing with other people. It could just take like forever just to get through the levels. Taking stuff can take a long time, and not to mention 2-S, like one of my least favorite levels. I can't even get past it. Not to mention getting all the flowers in the yarn. Anyway, okay, the Yoshi just died. You can also throw yarn at platforms to stand on them, which is a really cool feature. And again, sort of like Mario, when a character dies, they'll be transported into an egg, and all you have to do is touch it to let them out. Nice. Now I might as well talk about the transformations. It can be anything from a mermaid, to a dolphin, to a freaking motorbike, to a plane, to a digger. I don't even remember what it's called at this point. You can get wild with the transformation from vehicles. It's kind of like Kirby's Epic Yarn. And I forgot to mention, the soundtrack is amazing. It really, it can do both calming or like threatening and eerie at the same time. If it's supposed to be climatic, it'll be climatic. And if it's supposed to be kind of calming and adventurous, it can definitely do that. There's also a feature where you can swallow each other and turn each other into a like yarn piece, and that you would think that's a good feature, but when you have a player with you that keeps swallowing you, it turns into madness. Another cool thing is the levels are a lot longer than games like Mario. So even though there's probably like less levels or whatever, like yeah, they're still more enjoyable. They're still bigger, better, all that jazz. Another cool feature is that you can flutter in the air, and that becomes very useful, especially when your friend tries to eat you and spit you out. I know I've been just mostly referencing all the trouble I've had with some of my friends and how much they would eat me. Yeah, I'm fine. I also like how you can do stuff like this. Take two. I also like how you can do stuff like this. Even though there's only 2 players available to play as, they should have kept it that way, because sometimes it can be very chaotic, especially if you have multiple people swallowing you at the same time and spitting you out and basically just creating a loop, an endless loop of torture. I couldn't even imagine. I don't want to imagine it. So I'm happy they kept it with just 2 players. Again, the Wii U succeeds, at least in something, and that is in multiple controller options. You can use the Wii Remote with the nunchuck, just the Wii Remote itself, the Wii U gamepad, and the Pro Controller. as well as even maybe a different type of Pro controller that's more like the GameCube controller, which I've actually used for the Wii U before. Actually, I don't know if it works with Yoshi's Woolly World, but I'm pretty sure it does. YOLO. Another thing I like is the bonus games. They're just so competitive and fun to play. I mean, it's a break from the main game, but even though it's like just 12 seconds or whatever, it's still like really fun to do. And it also doesn't get you into too many fights because it's just 12 seconds, and usually your friend doesn't even care. I'm sorry, okay? I don't actually mean it. I'm just joking around. But as I was saying, I really like the bonus games. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. Also, sometimes I can suck at them. Though other times, I'm pretty good. Other times. Since I don't have any footage myself of the final boss from any of my videos, the following footage is provided by Prosevia Gaming, or something like that. So after a really cool section with Kamek, you finally make it to Baby Bowser. Just like he's like that. Also, he's kind of cute with his bad pronunciation. I've always liked that. So yeah, the plot of him meeting Yoshi is kind of like Yoshi's Island, with him wanting to ride a Yoshi. So yeah, since it's a lot like Yoshi's Island, there's also two phases. The first phase being just Baby Bowser running around the ruins, spitting fire and other things. And the second phase is Baby Bowser going to the size of Godzilla to ride you? Or throw balls at you? I especially like this fight because it takes advantage of how the game can look 3D. Honestly, I think the game should do this more often, even if it's a 2D game, because it really shows off that it can really look 3D. Also, am I the only one who's kind of reminded of the bathtub at the top of Corona Island? Well, bathtub in quotation marks, because it wasn't really a bathtub. So yeah. Yeah, it really reminds me of the bathtub of Super Mario Sunshine and Corona Mountain. I don't know why, it just does. So after you defeat Baby Bowser, you finally get all of the different colored Yoshis back. Sure, like the whole entire game is pretty cheesy, but I don't mind. Sometimes I like some cheese. Haha. And of course Kamek runs away again. I still have one more gripe with this game, though. Even though I say I don't mind the story that much, I don't think it was intentional to try to connect this, but I always like to see things as sort of canon. Since this is literally, basically, Yoshi, except without Mario, and the plot now being to save the other Yoshis. Like, think about it. The final battle is exactly replicated, basically. Because, like, it starts out just normal size and then giant. In fact, like, the whole entire arenas look a bit similar, except for the fact that the second one's a bit 3D, or 2.5D, whatever you want to call it. Back to Poochie. Not only can you buy him, but he can also put himself in some levels. Good boy. So yeah, that was pretty much Yoshi's Woolly World. I don't really know what else to say about it. It's a fun game. Sure, it has some flaws and it's pretty cheesy, but I still think it's a really good game and deserves to have more respect and deserves to give the Wii U more respect than it already has. I mean, I know one game doesn't make a console much better, but I'm not demanding, like Sammy Classic Sonic Fan was, that you should stop hating on the Wii U, but I'm just saying that you can't really deny, well, you could deny it, but Yoshi's Woolly World is just a really good game, okay? Also, I like the little pixel things that you can unravel. That makes your tongue go crazy. As well as non-pixel things. And you can lick Poochie. Never mind. Hey guys, I just realized I lost my Yoshi's Woolly World case. Can you help me find it? Okay. Oh, there it is. It's conveniently placed in a Cheerio box. Wow, this video is totally not sponsored. So overall, I give this game a, drumroll please, an 8 out of 10. No, 7.5. I'm gonna be honest, guys, I can't really rank the games that good. Just saying that my opinions are accurate, but like the stuff I say in this video are accurate except for the ranks, so I might not do this in the future. Yoshi. Anyway, really good gameplay, really, even though with a bad plot. Not everything is for me though, because sometimes the game can be really tedious and not fun to play. Especially when you're going to collect everything. Smooch. That's the wrong wheel. There we go, that's better. Boy. Leave a like or dislike. Subscribe to Review-LemmyKoopa13. Boy, and join the notification squad if you don't want to miss the newest videos. I'm gonna upload like this one at least at this current time. Well, not that. I think I'm gonna settle with a 7.5 out of 10. I don't really know what completely doesn't make me appeal, but I can pick this game up forever. I eventually will get bored of it. Just like every game, but sometimes with some games you get bored faster than others. Like Zack, for example. I think I smell Cheerios on my hand. No, I don't.